this video, we'll look at what the pattern option panel can do, as well as how to create and edit new shapes and existing shapes within your pattern bounding box. And we'll look at some opacity and some blending modes options. So we have the pattern options panel right here. You can go to Window and then down to Pattern Options. If you've lost this, if you can find it, go ahead and get to it now. The tile type manipulates how your objects within the box are situated. So you can say brick by row, and you can try hex by column or hex by row. Just kind of experiment with how your pattern gets laid out. If you like one option but one of your objects is too big, you can always go ahead and resize it at any point in time. If you want to copy one of your objects, if I wanted like another small red bird, I could, while my red bird was selected, hold down Control C and then hit Control V to get another bird. Now this is getting a little bit crowded, so I could make this one smaller. And if I wanted to manipulate this anymore, I could right click, I could say transform, I could rotate it, reflect it, I could scale it. Let's reflect it, and let's reflect it at a horizontal, over the horizontal axis, so it's flipped upside down. So just keep in mind those options are possible as well. I think I created one too many birds, so I'm going to delete that one in the middle. So you can use your tile type, you can copy and paste and edit existing pattern pieces. If you click this right here, Pattern Tile Tool, you see these white boxes along the edges of your bounding box, and this allows you to edit just exactly how big your bounding box is, which allows you to manipulate the spacing of your pattern. So that's a nice tool. So is the tile type. If you have, oops, we're going to undo that. Let's see, overlap. I'm going to reselect my bird and not my bounding box. Let's say I have bird overlapping, another one. I can use my overlap keys to figure out which objects are going to overlap which other ones. So that is essentially how you can, different ways that you can position objects in your pattern. Another thing that Illustrator lets you do is that it lets you create objects right here within the pattern construction mode. So I'm just going to do something simple. I'm going to choose the star tool. I'm going to draw a star right here. I'm going to make a stroke just so I can see it. Choose black. And then for my fill, maybe I want a color. I'll choose yellow because I have a lot of complementary colors. I have blue, I have red. So choosing a nice yellow, I think, would be nice to make a complementary color scheme. I'll pull my star down here. I've changed my mind. I don't want the fill. I'm going to say no fill here. And then I can move it. There we go. And what I can do with this, or anything really, is I can come up when it's selected and click the opacity, and I can drop that opacity down if I want to. And I can also change the blending mode. If you remember about blending modes in Photoshop when we were doing our surreal projects, these give you a lot of options on how the overlapping layers interact with each other. So to give you a clear example of this, let me take this bird, bring him over here, so he's kind of overlapping the star, and I'm going to click opacity. I'm going to leave the opacity alone, and then I can choose an overlay. So if you can see his tail right here interacts with the star differently. than it once did. You can do screen. That may look the same. Exclusion. So you can just kind of play around with these, and you can even overlap existing pieces on top of each other. Like let's say we want to do something like this, and then go to opacity. Maybe I want to drop the opacity of this one just a little bit, and then choose a blend mode. Oops. So again, selecting opacity,